Yay Networks.
Welcome back to Junkyard Mayhem. 2 weeks ago, I woke up on the day that we were supposed to record our next episode of Junkyard Mayhem to this. Shane, I think I lost my voice.
We told them that. They heard my voice.
Yes, and so we had to, unfortunately, cancel recording that day, as Hannah sounded like human sandpaper.
Uh-huh.
We did that little best of episode in place. Today, we're recording our next episode, and I wake up to Shane. I know you won't believe this, but I think I have pink eye.
I didn't know. First of all, I'm not recovered yet from the voice issue.
No, you have something.
I still have the same cold, and today it manifested itself as pink eye, which I didn't know adults could get. I don't know anyone who has recently had pink eye.
Wait, you think that was only for children?
Well, I don't know. What adult in your life has ever been like, Shane, I have pink eye? I've never heard of that.
That's true.
It's only kids.
It is, because kids are germy and sharing their,
And apparently me too.
I thought that pink eye only came from feces. So my response this morning was, well, maybe some of Chloe's poop got under your fingernails, which are very long and decorative and beautiful for Easter. Maybe some poop got under there and you touched your eye. That was my...
And I was like, what in the world is wrong with you? And Shane was like, well, pink eye comes from poop. And I was like, no, pink eye can also come from other things. Pink eye is very contagious. And it turns out you can have pink eye as a manifestation of a cold, like a virus, which is what happened to me. It was like, if you have an upper respiratory infection, it's not very uncommon to then get pink eye.
And people might not know that it can also be a manifestation of sin.
Oh my God. Anyway,
so one of these things caused Hannah
we don't know which one.
develop pink eye. Hannah's internal kind of landscape right now is Junkyard Mayhem.
Yeah.
There's a lot of bad stuff going on in there. Thankfully, she tested for COVID, and it's not that.
So many times.
A lot of times, we're very thankful it's not that. Although I don't even know if we're thankful at this point.
It's something worse. I think it's a new thing. You'll hear about it in a couple of months. Pink eye cold.
Hannah may or may not be patient zero for our next pandemic.
Well, and Shane's not getting it, which is making me think that maybe this is just like a me thing. Sorry.
There it is.
It's making me think that maybe it's just a me thing. Like, is it possible that I'm sickly?
Naturally sick?
Yeah, like I'm having an issue, but it's not an outside force.
At this point, it's been about 2 weeks, and things seem to be going downhill.
Yeah.
So we'll keep you updated on Hannah's state.
Yeah.
Going forward.
But I'm well enough to do this podcast, so that's good.
Are you? We keep pausing for you to cough. So
let's see. I'm getting through it.
I think, so that they get to experience what I've been experiencing this whole week, or the whole 2 weeks, is we'll just leave all your coughing in there.
Please don't.
This is a note to our editor.
Yeah.
Leave every gurgle, every cough in.
No one wants that.
All right. Well, we're going to have a fun episode today. We are talking about hiring a caregiver / baby helper. IVF is beginning in like a week-ish. Yeah. And so we're going to talk about all of those details and our kind of thought about all of it right now.
Yeah.
It's a scary thing.
This is basically like a job offer that we're putting out there.
This is a glorified help wanted ad. And then at the end, we are going to learn together how to forge a deeper relationship through the ways that we talk to one another.
Wow.
If that doesn't pique your interest, I don't know what will.
Yeah.
But to begin, let's do a recap of before you were sick.
Yeah.
The amazing adventure that we got to go on with Disney.
Yes, we got to go on the Disney Creator Celebration trip, which we talked about before we went.
Right. For those of you not familiar, the Disney Creator Celebration is something that Disney does, obviously, where they invite a bunch of creators like us to enjoy a week in Disneyland and then on a Disney cruise. It's a pretty exclusive thing to get invited to, not to toot our own horns. But Hannah was invited and brought me as her +1. Thank you for doing that.
Of course, Shane.
I thought maybe what we should do is go over some moments of joy, some junkyard joy
Yeah.
from throughout that whole week, just to give people a little flavor of what we got to experience.
Ooh, it's such a blur now, you know? It's been like a couple of weeks. It was such a huge week. I have to pick out all the moments.
And it was a jam-packed week. Like, they lined us up with so many fun activities and meals and things. I know one of my moments of joy was the pickle corn dog.
Oh, that was the last night at Disneyland.
Well, it changed my life.
Uh-huh.
You're probably familiar with the concept of a corn dog, which is a hot dog wrapped in corn flour and then deep fried. Delicious.
Okay.
The pickle corn dog
This is a lot of time.
takes it a step further.
Okay.
You take a hot dog, you shove it inside of a thick boy pickle, then you coat it in corn flour, then you deep fry it.
It was a tongue burner.
It was an
It
abomination.
was the hottest. Like every bite of that pickle corn dog from the top to the bottom was lava.
And we just cried our way through it because it was so good.
Panted, we cried.
It has everything. I
It
mean,
was good. It was really good.
So if you've not tried a deep fried pickle corn dog, pickle dog, I don't remember
It
the.
was from Blue Ribbon
Oh,
Corn Dog.
There you go. Hannah knows.
And something, I think their breading is what made it.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I love a hot dog with a pickle, whatever. But the corn breading on that corn dog was superb.
They're adding something in there.
And it was very fresh. Like we watched the woman make it.
We watched the pickle
is why-
inserted into
And then we brought it back to our hotel room. We ate it 10 minutes later and it was
all day.
a million degrees. It was very fresh.
So unfortunately, I didn't mean for that segment
yeah,
to
we
be
need to move
30
on.
minutes. But what's one of your moments of joy?
Okay, well, going off of that to another food item, we got to try a bunch of food from the Food and Wine Festival at Disneyland, which is happening in April. And one of the items I'm going to dream about for the rest of my life.
You're doing another food item.
That's what I said. Going off of your pickle dog to another food item, I almost wish I hadn't had it because now I know that I have to live the rest of my life probably never having it again.
I'm trying to remember what item you're.
It was a Snickers macaroon
Oh, yeah.
Mickey shaped dessert. Macaroons, top and bottom, sandwich. In the middle, chocolate.
Dew.
Yeah, like Snickers innards or
Sludge.
something. And then there was like some peanut butter, some peanuts on it. I have never had anything that tasted that good. And like now I'm going to have to learn how to make it myself, or I hope that they bring it back next year.
We have to get a Mickey mold to make it Mickey
was
shaped.
So good. So I think let's not talk about food anymore because
Okay.
we could go item
I'm
by
afraid.
item of all the stuff we ate. We ate a lot on this trip.
Disney really does food the right way.
They do.
And so we ate very well.
Which is important to us, obviously.
I think a moment of joy that you and I that we will share
Yeah.
is making friends.
Yes.
We were so excited to get to meet other creators,
Yep.
Other interabled creators,
Yeah.
and just hang out with them and share our experiences as people who are kind of dealing with the convergence of being a creator and being disabled.
Yeah.
We had a lot in common.
Yeah.
So just getting to hang out with our new friends and knowing that our friendship will move beyond this like week together now
Yeah.
is cool.
Uh-huh.
I just did a whole little thing there, and I didn't say one sarcastic thing.
Wow.
It was just genuine, from the heart,
That's so nice.
speaking my truth.
Wow.
I like making friends.
Okay, moving on to our cruise for my next Junkyard Joy. One of the things on a Disney cruise is that you have the same servers for dinner every night. So they go with you from restaurant to restaurant.
They actually hold your hand from restaurant to
No, they do not. But you have the same people, so you really get to know them. It's a really nice part of the Disney cruise. And on this cruise, we had the best server. He did amazing magic tricks.
I miss him.
I know. They were blowing our mind, these magic tricks. And Shane would be like, please do it again. We need to see it again.
I was like, do it slower.
You
Do
would
it
do
in
it
slow
twice.
motion.
They were the best magic tricks ever.
They were amazing magicians, but like also just really friendly.
Yeah.
Like eating on a cruise can be a bit hectic. Like they have a lot of tables that they
Yeah.
have to manage, but it didn't feel like that. It felt like they were completely invested in our happiness and comfort.
Yeah.
Every time I sipped my beverage, it was refilled instantly.
Yeah.
Just very hands-on and friendly.
You
And
remembered your drink, your preferred drink order.
yeah, he came in. He was like the white wine, buttery.
Yeah.
I was like, "Yep, you got it."
Yeah.
So great experience.
Yeah.
I will do one more Junkyard Joy, and that is my nightly movie
Yeah.
on the boat.
Which we did with Amanda and Michael, our new friends.
Yeah,
Every single night we had a movie night with them.
we discovered that the cruise that we were on had this amazing movie theater showing amazing movies
Yeah.
every night, like multiple movies.
That almost nobody went to because there was other stuff going on. There was a bunch of stuff for like kids to do.
Right.
So the movie theater was not packed at all. There were probably like
No.
5 other people in there with us most nights.
Yeah, the wheelchair accessible seats were incredible. We would get our popcorn first.
Yes.
Then I would get my nice little spot, recline my chair, and cover me with a blanket.
I brought a pillow
And
and a
a bed.
blanket. We would head down to the movie theater with like armfuls of bedding.
And then we would just settle in and get comfy for either 1 or 2 movies.
Yeah.
And then when we're done, we kind of sleepy eye our way back to our room. It was just a wonderful little setup.
I would like a movie theater walking distance to our bedroom at home. It
Well,
was the best.
We have a TV.
The TV is not the same. There's something about a movie theater that is so wonderful.
I think it's the popcorn stand,
Yeah.
honestly.
Well, and it was the big screen. We had friends. It's more fun with friends. It was just a fun
So
experience.
we need friends is what we
We need
need.
friends in a movie theater by our house. I don't know.
That was probably the highlight of my
Yeah.
week, is the movie nights.
We also saw dolphins.
We did see
We
dolphins.
saw dolphins. That was fun.
More joy.
Yeah.
Overall, it was a fantastic week. We want to thank Disneyland
Yeah.
and all of their teams that hosted us for this amazing week. We really had a great
It
time.
was amazing.
Oof, and it was tiring,
Yeah.
but
Apparently it wiped out my my whole body. I've needed weeks to recover from
and
the excitement.
and it gave Hannah pink eye. No, just kidding. All right, everyone. We're going to take a quick break, and then we will be back to talk about our intention of hiring a caregiver for me.
Yep. My recent mystery illness and now the development of pink eye really leads us nicely into thanking the sponsor of this episode, ZocDoc.
Yes, and I would like to thank ZocDoc because whenever Hannah develops symptoms of any kind, the first thing she does is come to me and present them to me. She lists off all of her oozing and weeping and congestion, and then she waits for me to give her my diagnosis. I am not qualified. So after I excuse myself to throw up, I come back and I say, where you should get much better help than whatever I'm about to give you? On ZocDoc, where thousands of qualified doctors are available to give you the attention and care that you need to handle everything that you have going on.
Okay, Shane, I admit that you're right. ZocDoc is the only free app that lets you find and book doctors who are patient-reviewed, take your insurance, are available when you need them, and treat almost every condition under the sun, including mystery pink eye.
That's good because you've had almost every mystery condition under the sun. Yeah, and when you're not feeling well, the last thing that you want to be doing is spending unnecessary energy to find great medical care. And ZocDoc makes it so that you don't need to do that. millions of people rely on their app because they make finding the right doctor that meets your needs and fits your schedule extremely easy. In fact, you can book an appointment with just a few taps in their app and hopefully, Hannah, start feeling better faster with ZocDoc.
Go to ZocDoc.com/junkyard and download the ZocDoc app for free. Then find and book a top-rated doctor today. Many are available within 24 hours. That's ZocDoc.com/junkyard. ZocDoc.com/junkyard.
Welcome back. We took a nice long break for Hannah to hack up her left lung. But now she's feeling refreshed.
Yeah, I feel great.
And ready to go. All right. So in this segment, this is a bit of an experiment. We are having a conversation with one another about, which is kind of what a podcast is. But
I don't know why I acted so surprised.
I'm saying like there's no real like formula or structure here.
Yeah.
But as we are beginning IVF to hopefully get pregnant by like middle of the summer-ish, we need to start seriously thinking about how my care and our life is going to look and get done once we have a baby and while you're pregnant and, not able to lift me and do all those things. So we've long talked about hiring a caregiver when this time comes. Now the time has come and we're both feeling, I would say, overwhelmed. So let's just talk about it.
I think you're more optimistic about it than I am. I only see obstacles. And you're like, no, we'll find someone. And I'm like, no, we won't.
Yeah, so I think the big thing that's making Hannah and I feel so scared and nervous about this whole thing is the actual process of finding, sufficient person or persons to carry out what we need done.
And we want it to be one, I think we want it to be one person, like more of like a full-time employee.
Our dream for this position is someone who is with us all the time. Now, some of this might not end up being practical.
Not like a, I mean, it's a 40-hour work week.
Well, no, I know.
I just want people to be like, why do you think someone will work for you 24/7?
I don't mean 24/7.
Yeah.
I just mean they are readily with us.
Yeah.
That they are able to carry out all of my physical caregiving, as well as assist me with non-caregiving things.
But that's what a personal care assistant is.
Right.
Helps you cook and clean and go to the grocery store.
Exactly. Yeah. So that type of life management stuff.
Yeah.
And help out with the baby, which again is me as the dad being okay, I'm now going to give my baby a bath. Caregiver, may you please help with that. As well as all of that aside, someone that can and wants to be involved in our work and hold the camera and maybe, be a creative input for us. Someone that has a tilt towards all the business that we do as well.
Yeah, which is less important.
That's less important, but I'm speaking dream position here.
Yeah, I mean, it would be nice if the person was interested in what we were doing so that they felt more.
Right.
I feel that would just be a better fit.
Yeah.
Than someone who's like that. I don't want to be anywhere near that.
Someone that hates influencers.
Yeah.
I think social media is ruining our society. All right, Shane,
boy.
time to go to the bathroom. But then I did the biggest dream thing that we hope for, which is also probably the hardest to find, is someone that is able to travel pretty freely with us.
Yeah, that's the problem. That's where I see the biggest obstacle of there's no person who is going to want to spend 3 months in LA in the winter. Who doesn't have those ties
right
to want to stay in one place.
Someone that could just go where we go when we go. And the nature of our business is such that we can get an offer tomorrow for a speaking engagement in Utah in
Yeah.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
And it's just not wildly practical to assume or to require that a caregiver can like pick up and go somewhere for, a week or a
Yeah.
weekend, whatever it is. So that's kind of like the picture of what this caregiver position needs to fulfill. Like
Yeah.
you're feeling like that is going to be impossible
Yeah.
to find.
Yeah, I think for me at that point, it makes almost more sense to like hire someone for 3 months in Minnesota and then fire them and then try to find someone for 3 months in California.
God.
Like it's just, I just don't see how it's going to be possible.
Yeah, and I think right now, I'm relating it very much in my mind to when we had to find a dog sitter for our dog.
Yeah.
And the way we handled that was we made a post about it on social media. We got all these people saying, hey, I'm in the area, like I would love to help out. We interviewed some of them, and that was that. I have a feeling or a hope, I'm very optimistic, that when we like put out our official call for applicants, that the same thing will happen, and that we'll have a large pool to pick from, and that we will end up finding someone that satisfies at least most of our hopes for this person.
Dog sitter was an easy dog sitter in Minneapolis area. Okay. Well, that's pretty simple. But this is like, who has no time
Dedicated
to the area, wants to travel, spend different amounts of months in different places, can lift 60 pounds, wants to hold a camera, doesn't hate dogs, will hold a baby. Also wants to, cook with Shane. Likes cooking.
often.
Yeah, Shane likes cooking.
I think if I had to speak about, like, if I had to identify where my biggest source of, like, hesitation, nervousness
Yeah.
about all this is, it's letting someone into that vulnerable
Yeah.
level of my life. Like, you've been doing my caregiving now for 5 years.
Yeah.
Like, only you.
I know.
And we are so comfortable with one another, obviously, that like even when just a friend helps out for like a day,
Yeah.
it feels like, oh, this is
Yeah.
weird. Like I have to change how I am,
Yeah.
I can't like just I have to describe how to do things, and I have to make constant reminders of like things that like the back of your hand.
Yeah.
I no longer have to tell you anything about my caregiving.
Yeah.
For a stranger, like there are so many minute details, and just like some of them are very personal.
Yeah.
Like, okay, to wipe my butt, here's what you do. Pull down my underwear.
Well, the thing is, I don't think we need to have a caregiver do all of that stuff. Like that doesn't need to be helping you wipe your butt does not need to be part of the job description.
But it might be if you're like laid up in bed with a C-section, let's say, or maybe whatever it is. Like there might be moments like that where they have to do those things, and I know that I can get through it because thousands of disabled people do it every day.
Yeah.
But I'm a baby and I'm scared and I don't want to.
I know, but
I want Hannah doing it.
But also, like, we've had discussions about Shane being like, I am worried about having a caregiver, a stranger doing something. And I'm like, but at that point, it wouldn't be a stranger. So, imagine if it was like so-and-so friend doing something. And Shane is like, oh, that would be okay. And I'm like, yeah, but the caregiver will also, by this point, feel like someone Like, we're not just going to get a person off the street, not know them, and like put you in the shower.
Hi, I need a shower. Are you available? Yeah, and I know that. You're right. Like, when my brother came out to take care of me, it was a little bit, weird in the first day, but then we like fell into our old rhythm and it was fine.
Yeah.
I think it's the process of getting from stranger going through that, like getting to know you and like becoming comfortable, and then like that's my butthole, like it's not a straight line, and it's not a simple line. And going through that is not the most fun thing in the world.
I know.
But I do I'm excited because I think that it will be really good for us for to have another pair of hands that are not these mangled hands.
If you're not watching this visually, Shane is lifting up his hands.
Barely
Yeah.
as high as they go, about 2 inches. But yeah, I'm excited, and I hope it ends up being beneficial and fun.
Yeah.
Dare I say, and not something that we're like, oh, Marla's coming over for her shift.
I know that's the other huge thing is you just said the thing that I think is the most stressful to me is that this has to be someone that we like and want to have around almost as much as each other or like a very close family
as
member.
much as each other.
Yeah.
Okay, scenario here. We are in bed. You are incapable of caring for me in this moment.
Okay.
Because you just gave birth yesterday.
Okay.
Umbilical has not been cut yet. And I have an emergency bathroom experience in the middle of the night and have to call caregiver who's in the other room.
But we're not going to have an overnight. You think
Someone that's going to have to be there. What if whoever it is, whether it's a family member or...
But Shane, I don't think we're going to have an overnight caregiver. Right after I give birth, we're probably going to have your dad here for a week. Just so you know. We can't hire someone to live with us 24/7 and be on call all the time.
I think we could.
No, we cannot. That's
not the
legal.
same person, but 12-hour shifts.
We're not doing that. We're not doing that.
But anyway, whoever it is, family member
the
or...
day after I give birth, we have no one in the house to help, and you are having an emergency bathroom incident? Wow.
Maybe it was a bad example. Let's say 3 weeks down the road, middle of the night.
It's not middle of the night.
All I'm saying is
just go with
having...
middle of the night is the least problematic time.
No, because we're both in bed.
I don't care about them being...
But if they come into the room to do something for me, it can't be someone that we're like, oh my God,
This is way more of a problem. Lunchtime. We're all sitting down to eat lunch. That is a way better example than you having diarrhea in the middle of the night.
I'm saying that having a complete stranger or this person that we are now close with, Marla, in our bedroom or in our bathroom or in our close private, what was once private spaces, we have to be so comfortable with them.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
I don't care about comfort. I'm talking about I want to like them at lunchtime. We're out to dinner and they're there. That has to be someone that we really like.
So we need to put on the job application, are you funny? Please submit a 5-minute reel of your best humor.
It's just oh God, I don't... I can count on one hand the number of people that I would want around that much. It's that's concerning.
I know. But at the same time, we may not have the luxury of finding that all-star person. Not all-star, but
I'm crawling out of bed with a C-section because I'm not having some person I don't like around.
I'm on the phone with the hospital. Yeah, her stitches came out again. She doesn't want Marla doing it, so...
Oh my God, she's fired Marla.
I think, not to be dramatic, that this is going to be one of the biggest and most stressful things that we do together in life. Obviously having a baby, but getting a caregiver that will become a part of our day-to-day life is huge.
I know.
It's not easy for any disabled people.
Yeah.
Finding a caregiver for anyone is a very difficult and, often unfair process because of the way that caregiving works in the United States. But we're going to get to it.
Yeah, and I think also we may, this is kind of an impossible ask, and I feel like we may end up having someone short-term for, the end of the pregnancy, early birth, whatever, someone who doesn't want to go to California or wherever we're going, and then, transitioning that into just having a nanny for the baby.
Right. Once you're able to, do my care.
Someone that can help out with all of these things, but isn't specifically doing your care.
And that's a pretty normal setup.
That's much more normal. That's the thing. In the US, that's way easier to find than a caregiver. So,
but if you're watching or listening right now and you're thinking to yourself, I tick every one of their boxes. I am a literal golden unicorn. Please, by all means, reach out, name your price.
Literally.
Are you willing to relocate?
No.
Often.
Again and again. Really, it's only Minneapolis and LA, but
Yeah. So, well, with, travel,
with some travel. I'm just saying, like, we spend a lot of time in LA and a lot of time in Minneapolis.
that's true.
We're not going to Utah for a speaking engagement for like a month.
I believe we will find the golden unicorn. They are out there.
Wow. And I believe we will find a short-term caregiver and a long-term babysitter.
But we'll see.
Let's see who's right.
This is where we are at right now in this process. I'm excited to see, in 2 or 3 months where we're at.
Yeah.
If I had to guess, knowing ourselves, in 3 months we will be saying, shit, we haven't begun yet. We really need to make that ad.
Yeah, that is how these things tend to go.
No, we will not procrastinate on this, the biggest decision of our life.
Yeah.
We will get it done proactively.
Oh boy.
All right. Let's take a quick break, and then we'll be back to deepen our relationship,
Ooh.
which we might need as we get into this caregiver.
Yeah, deepen and repair. All right, we are back and we are ready to ask questions that will get a better answer than how are you?
Why are we doing this?
These are alternatives to asking how are you to get the real answer. I don't know, Shane, you found this article.
This is an article that I saw this morning. That literally the headline was, "Don't say how are you, say these 8 things instead
And you
for
clicked.
better relationships."
Wow.
I was like, "Oh, that sounds fake." So I clicked it. It was an article on CNBC, which like all of their content is finance and business stuff. So I don't quite understand why they decided to include this article. But the claim by this contributor is that using these conversation starters will help you have a deeper, more positive relationship with whoever you're speaking to.
See, just looking at these, the first couple, I find these very uncomfortable to be asked.
Well, let's get into it. Hannah is now going to try to deepen our relationship
Okay.
and test out some of these. So instead of, how are you?
How are you really?
Really?
That's number one. How are you really, Shane?
Okay, for all of these, I just want to imagine walking into like a coffee shop.
Yeah.
And the barista's like, hey, how are you? and you say, good. How are you, really?
How are you really doing?
Well, Hannah,
Mm-hmm.
I am really doing great.
Wow.
So-
Really?
So that's what I would have said if you just said, how are you?
Okay.
I'm great. But how am I really?
Really great.
Great. I'm great.
Okay. Well, how are you doing right now?
Right now,
Right now.
my hands are profusely sweating.
Oh no.
Apparently, it's something about the Minnesota environment
Yeah.
where we are now back in
Uh-huh.
has set off my hand sweat glands once again.
Oh.
And the shorts that I am wearing seem to be very absorptive. Absorbent.
My God. The author.
Yeah. Because as I rest my hands here, I just kind of feel the sweat spreading throughout all areas of my pants.
Yeah, see, I don't want to ask these questions.
That's how I'm doing right now.
Right now.
I'm
Thank you
I'm
for
a little bit
sharing.
tired
Okay.
at the end of this podcast. I'm very hungry.
Okay.
Do you feel like we're getting deeper?
Yeah. That was a lot of information.
All right, number 3.
Number 3.
For a
Okay.
deeper relationship,
What's been on your mind lately?
lately, lately is pretty vague. I guess like lately is the past few days.
Yeah.
I've been thinking a lot about your illness that does not seem to be getting better, and how strongly I need to urge you to seek medical care.
Uh-huh.
The addition of pink eye today is making it more dire. Please go to the doctor.
Shane, let's keep this about you, okay? I want to get to know you.
I've been, what was it?
I have another question for
What?
you. If you were being completely honest with me,
If,
how would you describe your feelings lately?
well, if because normally I'm not.
Yeah.
Normally you can assume that I'm just lying. If, though, I was being
If you were,
completely honest with you,
how are your feelings?
how are my feelings?
How are your feelings lately?
How are my feelings lately? That was
How would you describe your feelings lately? Be honest.
average, pretty average.
Okay.
I have moments of the day where I'm, happy and working, productive,
Oh,
feeling good,
mine are the opposite.
having fun. Other moments of the day when I'm facing a challenge or something annoys me.
Uh-huh.
So, pretty standard human existence.
That's good.
I wouldn't say maybe a little bit to the negative side.
Oh.
If I had to really, if I had to be honest with you,
Oh.
only because I was having a great time in LA
Yeah.
and now I'm back in Minnesota, which is fine.
Well, that kind of leads me into my next question.
Oh.
What's feeling good and what's feeling hard? It sounds like maybe being back in Minnesota is feeling hard.
I didn't think I would try doing this. No, feeling good is that thankfully the weather here has been wonderful since we've gotten home.
Yeah.
It's been hot, like 80 degrees.
I hit 88 yesterday.
And just getting back into our normal life does really fill me with joy. I think it does the opposite for you.
Yep.
You
Makes me very upset.
spontaneity and adventure.
Yeah.
I like routine.
I'm feeling trapped and we just got home.
And what's feeling hard lately?
This isn't about me. Anyway, what's feeling hard for you, Shane?
Feeling hard is the enormity of beginning IVF and finding a caregiver.
Yeah.
That's been weighing on us since 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And now it's finally go time. And I'm scared. I don't feel ready. I am barely an adult.
Yeah.
I don't think I can do it.
Oh.
So I'm letting you know right now.
Okay.
No kids.
Oh no. Well, let me ask you a follow-up question to that. What word would you describe? No. What word would you use to describe your life right now?
Heavy.
Oh. I thought you were feeling good.
I am. I'm feeling average.
No, I know. I agree.
As we go through heavy things, I always kind of maintain everything's fine
Yeah.
demeanor, and I think that enrages you sometimes. But yeah, I feel good. But everything just feels very heavy right now.
Yeah,
We have
overwhelming.
a lot of very big decisions, a lot of very big things that may or may not lead to difficult emotions.
Yeah.
And good emotions, but they're all big, and that feels heavy.
Yeah.
I actually do feel. I know I made fun of the article
You love
in the
it.
beginning. I love this game. I'm like, Hannah's my therapist.
These are great questions. Okay. The last time we talked, you were dealing with X problem.
I know you're supposed to fill that in. Diarrhea in the middle of the night.
Yeah. The last time we talked, you were dealing with anxiety about having midnight accidents. How has that? I'm sorry. How has that been lately?
It's been fine. There was thankfully no midnight accident. It was a close call, but I have a great caregiver in life who rescued me in that moment.
So you did have an incident recently?
Just a moment of panic.
Uh-huh.
I think I was fed poison by my wife, and the resulting midnight moment, midnight mayhem, if you will, resulted in a scare. But we got through it. I don't remember what question you asked me, but
I just said that the last time we talked, you were dealing with anxiety about having midnight accidents.
right,
and
it was stop saying accidents.
I was asking, how has that been lately?
It's been good. Hannah has reassured me that I could have a million midnight almost accidents, and she would still love me just the same.
Yeah, luckily you haven't had many. Only one in like 3 months.
Yeah. And so I'm feeling really good about that. I'm feeling great. I think I'm over the hump. I think it's over. And I cannot wait to tell my future hired caregiver about the possibility of this. I can't wait.
I only have one question left for you, Shane.
Do you feel like we've gotten a bit deeper? Or
Yeah. I mean, I knew most of this. Most of it relates to things.
I did not fathom asking a stranger any of these things.
That's why that makes me so. I do not like the kind of person that would ask this to like their server at a restaurant or their barista or like their mailman. You know, I don't like that.
With a casual friend, would you appreciate that? No, even then you wouldn't.
No, I find that uncomfortable, but I understand why someone would want to do this.
Yeah.
But unprompted, I find that. Like in a game, sure. But if you just come up to me and say like, what's feeling good and what's feeling hard, I'm going to be like, what is wrong with you? Okay, so on to our last question. Oh, what question do you wish someone would ask you right now?
I hate this question.
Yeah.
This puts the whole, like, you're the one trying to find out how I am. Don't put it on me to do all the work.
I know.
Figure out your question and my answer.
Well, Shane, what question do you wish someone would ask you? Did
I
you say wish?
I wish you would ask me how you can absolutely blow my mind today with exquisite meals, surprise gifts. Ask me what you need to do to make sure that happens.
What do I need to do to blow your mind with exquisite meals and gifts?
It's pretty much that.
Oh.
If you could prepare something for breakfast that, like, I'm not aware we have, you know, like
a secret meal.
A secret meal that is presented to me. Avocado toast, maybe?
Yeah, we don't have any of
with
that.
Your balsamic glaze.
We don't have
drizzle.
Avocados.
See, but that, like, that's what I want you to ask me so you can figure it out and then make it happen.
Wow.
I feel a little bit deeper than we were before. Now you know my anxieties, my hopes.
Yeah. And if anyone would like to use these questions in your day-to-day life, go for it. I would find you very uncomfortable.
But you will forge much better relationships than you would if you went the just surface level, uncaring route of how are you? Bleh. What are you going to get from that?
Yeah.
All right, everyone. That is Junkyard Mayhem, episode 24? 3?
You wrote 23
I think
on our
it was meant to be 3.
Oh, you're right. We did our recap episode, so it's 24 now.
And as is the case every time I say this, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Episode numbers don't matter here.
And let's hope that I'm well by next week. I doubt it.
If you're not well, I'm going to involuntarily commit you somewhere. I'm going to admit you to urgent care or something.
She needs to be in ICU or something.
All right, everyone. Well, I'll probably have it by next week. Everyone, if you enjoyed this podcast, please leave us a 5-star review. Leave us a comment if you're watching in an area where you can leave comments.
Which would be YouTube, probably.
Yes, share it with your friends. Think happy thoughts about us.
Wow.
If you know anyone that might want to be a caregiver for a nice, friendly boy in Minnesota, please reach out. And remember, it is a junkyard out there, and it is filled with Hannah's pink eye. Stay away. We are closed for business. It's bad.